And I'm gonna probably try to say more jokes now because jokes are fun. People are people. So whenever I was doing stuff, sometimes we're gonna go on the internet, online servers, stuff like that. Whenever I was trying to do stuff, I would when I was trying to be the right kind of person, I realized that I got all right. I'm I'm a person. I'm gonna be a person. I'm a person. So I'm gonna talk about some stuff that's near and dear to my heart. Damn it, heart, heart. Um, just things, stuff, and people. Just people, stuff, and things. People and lots of things and stuff and people. There were a lot of times when I believed in like fantastical images and stuff like that, and people were didn't realize that they weren't just images. You know, sometimes they were really cool and awesome and stuff like that. And, you know, it's like things were really cool, like Bulbasaur and Venusaur. That's Pokemon. But hey, we're gonna we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's called Puppy Cat. Um, Puppy Cat is a mixture between a dog and a cat. Obviously, it has the fur of a cat, but it usually smells like a dog because it releases enzymes, and it's the reason why cats and dogs kind of molded into this different thing because people didn't realize the puppy cat was not sentient, but very, very well keen on hunting things. See, the keen sense of smell of a dog and the sight of a cat kind of mixed in there, and that's basically where Puppy Cat came from. The idea for Puppy Cat on a cartoon show. People didn't realize that that's the reason why that Puppy Cat can talk, because it's very keen on being able to. It's trying to insinuate that Puppy Cat is very smart. So, Puppy Cat is an actual animal that used to exist. People don't realize this, but tigers and lions and all those other different things were derivative and ancestors, or not ancestors, but descendants of a different type of animal that was crossbreeded and thought that it could be a hunting animal or used in some sort of way. But the realization of the fact that cats don't usually have owners sometimes, and dogs sometimes have owners and are very loyal, or have the reason why there are two different kind of personalities that kind of mesh inside of a puppy cat. You know, puppy cats. It's the reason why they sometimes stay small or they get really big or something like that. And puppy cats are a real thing, guys. So if anyone's trying to crossbreed
Don't say
dogs and
anything.
cats,
I
yeah.
don't know you. Or
Oh, all right. It's not National Geographic. They actually have never put it on there yet. So if they have, don't tell me. Because I'm going to make up some funny jokes about it. Or hopefully make up some funny jokes. They're going to be funny to me. I don't know if they're funny to anyone else. So. Alright, let's see. So, Puppy Cat decided that he was going to follow Deadpool around. And Deadpool was very keen on having a pet. So this is the reason why Deadpool got turned into a wonderful person. He is a wonderful person now, and he realizes the things about life. And Deadpool is amazing, guys. He wore pink that one time. I don't think he was going along with the words or anything like that, because he's probably tired from all that crime fighting, you know, crime and fighting and all that other different junk, you know, in the MCU. And then Puppycat decided, oh my gosh, yeah, got out of it. I'm freaking awesome. Cool. So Puppycat decided that he was, after he taught Deadpool the meaning of life, he was going to go on a journey. And he brought a friend along with him. My mom. During these journeys, Puppycat could talk. Puppycat could completely talk, and he was very keen on hunting things, and that's the reason why animals are very keen at hunting things sometimes, is because certain animals that used to live in a certain environment, animals sometimes envision that are running around. They're not actually running around, but the wind itself is kicks up, and dogs try to imagine a world where a lot of different life is like, what's the word? Where life is always there. And that's the reason why sometimes animals get depressed and they don't know. Sometimes they need like sugary sweets sometimes, because they need to get out of their depression and realize that they need to realize that there's life everywhere, but they just need to stay inside of their yard every once in a while. And that's the story about Puppycat. Puppycat and Deadpool. Puppycat didn't want to stay out of his yard, so he decided that he was going to go just manipulate someone into doing what he wanted for him. He decided that he was going to take hostages. I mean,
hello there.
And then he decided to go and empower Deadpool and tell him about self-healing. That's his telephone pole. So Puppycat was on his way, and with Deadpool manipulating the shit out of him all the time. You think that was Deadpool on his own? No, that was Deadpool and Puppycat. That's the reason why he was jumping in different areas, and that's the reason why a lot of times people don't understand that if they crossbreed an animal without a mother, they get angry a lot. That's the reason why sometimes catahoula's and a lot of different other animals are, when they're crossbreeded, sometimes they're crossbreeded with genetic modifications. That's the reason why all those animals are what that simulation is in the Jurassic World and all that other different stuff. It's an inevitability with genetically modified animals to get angry and try to kill themselves. It's because of the what happens is when an animal dies and a genetic modification is made to be able to step over the thought of it not being able to do things. What happens is animals need mental health too, sometimes, and what they need is care, and sometimes what they need is care without with also a negative reinforcement sometimes, because that's what their mothers or their genetic mothers or their mothers did. They remember because of certain memories that were implanted or anything like that. And if they ever used cartoons, it's probably the reason why they wanted to kill themselves, because of music and bullshit and other stuff like that. Animals, if they wanted music, then they'd probably make it. Just something I'm saying, you know? Alright. So, Puppycat is... None, dude. None of them at all. I smoked cigarettes and I drank Hennessy yesterday. The reason why oh, you're mean, dude. Seriously. No, but I do have black ancestry in my family, I think. So, I am also Native American on both sides of my family. I am Apache and Cherokee. So 23andMe, bro. Nice. Understanding a lot of different stuff. There were a lot of people out there that didn't know that a puppy cat could exist, or a dog cat, or a cat dog, and genetic modifications turned into cartoons, so things were terrible. And cat dog, alone in the world was a little cat dog. That's the reason why it's really sad sometimes to watch that cartoon, because not only does he not have a butthole, but he also is a cat and a dog. And if he was normal, I'm drinking Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon. Cabernet Sauvignon. So puppy cat decided. What happened? What happened? What's going on? I'm doing a mission. I'm running around in the desert right now. I'm trying to find people so that I can shoot them with my shotgun. Because that's what I do. In the video game, yeah. Nice. Don't steal it. Trying to find people. I don't know where y'all are. So a lot of times puppy cat thought to himself, and puppy cats do think this to themselves, is why do I have a leader, or a person, or a master, so to speak, and why is this happening? Is this person trying to give me all these treats? Are they buttering me up for something? Are they trying to eat me? Are they trying to do something? All those thoughts run through pets' heads. That's the reason why sometimes they defend themselves against things that they think are going to eat them, because that's the reason why they get really pissed off at babies, because they try to put everything in their mouths, and that's also a different thing that they see when they see one baby putting something in their mouth that they shouldn't. They try to stop them, and when they don't, the baby tries to reach out for them. So that's what happens, and a lot of times that happens. So you have to understand that dogs have a hard set thing, basically, to be able to hunt humans sometimes. And certain dogs were bred to hunt humans, not just in old times or something like that, but like way when they were younger. They were big, very big, and they were about, let's say, like their back was about 10 feet tall. Like the Game of Thrones version of the huge wolf dogs was a complete understatement. Literally like Princess Mononoke. That's like the only thing that's probably real about Princess Mononoke. Not the whole situation that happened, because everyone would have died of disease if they ever treated leprosy like that. But those huge dogs basically could run up mountains, and it was crazy. And they were like really, really prevalent, and that's usually the reasons why sometimes people wanted to kill them and stuff. So it's pretty insane. And so I'm running around the airport right now, doing stuff. A lot of times, people don't understand that when animals breed, or when animals crossbreed, if they don't completely and utterly like each other, that's the only reason why there would ever be a genetic mismatch, like an animal that that doesn't whatchamacallit, and when I say don't like each other, if they're not genetic matches, basically, if they don't have the proper material downstairs or the proper material upstairs to be able to make a cub or whatever they're making, no matter what kind of animal they are, if they're not genetically capable of making those animals, then if not genetically, like, not modified, but if they don't come to those conclusions on their own, they think they're fake. So that's what the reasons why a lot of animals start to gnaw at themselves or gnaw at their paws or something like that, or they go numb sometimes. They just think that that's the reason why when you have an animal that's misbehaving itself, sometimes you should feed it your own snacks and let it know what you eat, because that's the stuff that it will appreciate its food more often. So there's a lot of times that people don't realize that, oh, that's animal abuse if you feed it granola. It's like, no, there are oats in his food already. So it's like, it's a pretty cool fact. And so Puppy Cat decided that he was going to teach Deadpool a lesson. And then Puppy Cat decided that he was Puppy Cat's awesome, man. Puppy Cat's, it's a story about Puppy Cat and Deadpool. I don't have any rights to the Deadpool name, so I'm just going to keep on saying this for free. It's a parody. It's very much a parody. It's of two different series that I watched, and it's my own fan fiction that I wrote in my head, and I am completely and utterly just making this shit up as I go along. So as Puppy Cat decided to manipulate Deadpool, he wanted to make him believe in something, because he thought him to be depressed, because animals can feel when people are depressed or fearful. And that's the reason why sometimes they come around you and lay down, because they think you need something to take your mind off all the stuff that you're thinking about. They feel compassion too, and a lot of different stuff whenever they're treated right, and whenever they feel as though they're actually better off trying to do different things. Like, so basically it's like therapy sometimes. It's like people get mad and angry and stuff, and animals come along when they hear noise, and when they hear noise, they try to see what's wrong. So Puppy Cat doesn't care what's wrong. He just wants to be able to get freedom, and he'll use anything to get it, because that's the reason why they'll have to realize that the smarter animals become, the more prevalent, the more predetermined to violence that they actually have. Like they are violent things. They are very, very visceral things sometimes. But if they're domesticated and bred around humans, then they're a little bit docile, because of not only the habits of animals, but the habits of humans. And once they realize that the certain generations of certain animals that come to pass, or certain animals that do different things, is and what they really do understand sometimes is that they realize they don't understand things. That's the reason why they start to look at people and start to research things, start to come up with different ideas about what's going on. So this is a story about Puppy Cat realizing his own consciousness. A lot of animals, when they become self-aware or aware of their own mortality, basically, they think as though something's going to happen to them if they keep trusting these people that aren't taking care of things all the time, or trying to stop them from running in front of cars because they don't know anything about it. A lot of times, because my dog ran in front of a car one time, or not in front of a car, he tried to bite the tire of a Tonka truck. He got it, but then he died. He's a really good dog, and understandably so. He was a really stupid dog too, but that's what happened. All right, I'm looking for people, and I don't see anybody, but I see one person. Is that a dude in the house? Is a dude in the house? Yeah. So Puppy Cat and Deadpool decided that they were gonna try to figure out together what their future was. And Deadpool decided that he was going to do a lot of different stuff and not tell Puppy Cat. Puppy Cat got very angry. That's what happens when you don't communicate with your animals. You can communicate with certain what's the word, syllables and things like that. Like like sit in action, like saying like move your hand a lot or something like that, you know, gestures, you know. So what's up? Are you talking to someone else? All right, cool. So, this is what Puppy Cat and Deadpool really figured out, okay? Puppy Cat and Deadpool decided that they were going to be able to take over the world, okay? He wanted to take over the world. Puppy Cat didn't know what he wanted because Puppy Cat is Puppy Cat, not Deadpool. Deadpool wanted to take over the world. And the reason why Deadpool wanted to take over the world is because he wanted to be able to build ideas. And then Puppy Cat realized that Deadpool was very evil. So after understanding that that Puppy Cat was after Deadpool and after Puppy Cat realized that Deadpool was a very terrible person, he decided to manipulate him into doing good things, and then rewarding him because Puppy Cats are very strong. Because of a certain mutation inside of certain people's blood, I am going very fast right now because I'm doing things very fast. Because of a lot of different mutations inside of a puppy cat's, or a cat dog, if you will, its blood is the reason why there are different mutations when certain animals mix breed that have come to a certain pinnacle of existence. When they become smarter and can say the words sometimes. They usually make them practice a lot, but understandably so. If they get it on some of the first tries, it means that they're getting smarter. And when they get smarter, that's the reason why you see a lot of different mixed breeds of animals sometimes. You see like foxes and different things like that because they existed in the wild and a lot of times people would understand that there were a lot of different kinds of animals that crossbreeded whenever they came to a pinnacle of evolution. A lot of people didn't understand that pinnacle of evolution was the fact that they had to be, what's the word? They had to be a certain type of evolution in order to be able to mix breed with certain other animals. So that's the reason why sometimes it sounds completely and utterly racist or speciesist or something like that. But animals crossbreed and hang out with each other because of their certain survival. They know they have to evolve to be able to survive, and they know they have to breed in order to be able to propagate their line. So a lot of people realize that animals had it right sometimes. Those people had it wrong and were absolutely insane. People like Deadpool. People like Deadpool have to understand that they're absolutely insane because of their lack of, not brain power, but thought patterns. Because a lot of people that take in what they see and don't think about it for a while, then they start to realize that that they're starting to spew out certain things that they've heard over the phone or over the internet or over certain things. So basically they'll start saying things that that are on the top of their mind, or not the top of their mind, but are at the pinnacle of their synapse. And that's the reason for, I think, what people would call truth serum, I guess. So that's what Puppy Cat did. Puppy Cat decided to give Deadpool some truth serum, try to figure out exactly what he felt about. Realized that not only was Deadpool depressed, but Deadpool was very, very cynical about the future and his life. Not only was he really cynical, he would constantly make jokes about whether or not the end of the world would happen. And when he did that, we would worry Puppy Cat. And when Puppy Cat got worried, Puppy Cat would fill him full of truth serum again. And now he just keeps doing it all the time. No matter what, Puppy Cat always does the things that Puppy Cat does. Because Puppy Cat decides to be able to do different things and be able to say different things. And also to be able to realize that Deadpool was just a man who decided to take the law and things into his own hands because he was depressed about certain situations that he had been forced into. It's the reason for the people becoming mercenaries or soldiers of fortune in the first place. They always say that there's something honorable behind it, and they stack cash just like any other what's the word, mobster does. But the way they use it, man, the way they earn it is different. They are respected, and they steal things from people who actually have a purpose for all that stuff. Granted, that purpose might be world domination, but people have to understand, if they never had that in the first place, if no one ever had that in the first place, then they would have never thought about world domination in the first place. They would have figured out their problems and gotten on with their lives. Hopefully, realizing that Deadpool had to understand that no matter what, he was always going to be violent, because he always had that thing inside of him that was pushing him to be able to become a better person. And that was Puppy Cat, because Deadpool tried to say a lot of different stuff. Puppy Cat kept kicking him in the face. When Puppy Cat kept kicking him in the face, you had to understand that Puppy Cat needed to run. He needed to run around. He needed to jump and play. And Puppy Cat was very big, because that's the reason why when cats get really big and dogs get bigger, that's the reason why when Puppy Cat, the pinnacle of their evolution, when they can't get any bigger, then they can't usually get any bigger without losing density. The reason why a lot of times people would understand that that Puppy Cat decided that that he was going to walk away from Deadpool, because Deadpool was a lost cause. But then Deadpool started realizing that things were giving up on him, that Puppy Cat was giving up on him. A lot of people just started giving up on him because he was so inside of his own head all the time. And that's what I think people don't understand about Deadpool, is I think what he suffers from, his own character in science, or when scientifically, he suffers from absence of not emotion, but emotional dissidence, or distancing, basically. Distancing yourself from whatever emotion you have, to be able to replace it with something that you've heard, or something that you've done, or someone that you've talked to, basically. Just repeating another conversation over and over and over again basically covers up all the bullshit and makes it seem like you're a normal person sometimes. And that's what happens a lot of times in big cities. And that's also the reasons why I become an introvert sometimes. And I realize that there are people out there that care, but there are also people out there that are complete and other douchebags. Like Deadpool used to be. Unfortunately so, that is the reason why Puppy Cat changed him forever. Changed him forever, and now he works on the side of good. Always on the side of good. Never doing something bad. Never ever doing anything. And that's the reason why Deadpool is my hero. He's a beautiful man. He's wonderful. He looks like a meatball that's covered in Play-Doh. And he also understands that he's a good guy, and he has to understand that a lot of times people don't give themselves a lot of credit whenever they're going through something very terrible, or they don't realize something beforehand going into a certain rabbit hole in their consciousness, realizing that a lot of times people use a what's the word, a fictional meter of something. And there's a dude, I'm gonna find him. Let's do this. A fictional metered thought pattern, and that fictional thought pattern is what gives a person good thoughts and what tells them that they're really worth something, but they're not fictional, just made up by that person. So as they're made up by that person, they start to try to work them in other different scenarios, seeing as how your brain uses every single thought. It doesn't have a left side and a right side and all that other bullshit. People who actually have that had some sort of disease. That's the reason why they had it, because they had to realize that because of their evolution and trying to think that there was a left side and a right side of a brain, you don't really have that. No one actually has that, because your brain just is what it is. They would have like when they'd open their head, they'd have like inverted what's the word? It's really bad. It's really bad. It was really bad. So we'll just leave it at that. Understandably so, Puppy Cat and Deadpool get along now, and Puppy Cat's immortal, and so is Deadpool, and now they're gonna understand that the Puppy Cat will always be around. And remember, Puppy Cat's not a bear. Don't confuse the two, because Puppy Cats can take out bears. If Puppy Cats are trained in the proper way, shape, or form, noticing that they're really good at climbing trees and doing different stuff, they can track a lot of different animals. That's the reason why people need to understand that Puppy Cat is a very useful tool in hunting. Understandably so, people have to understand too. Understandably so, people have to understand. Oh my God, that's terrible. People have to understand that there are a lot of different reasons why depression and a whole bunch of different other things can get to you. But realize that you have a chance to be able to change that sometimes. And no matter what happens around you or anything like that, realize that there are people out there that absolutely care. And understand that there are people out there that can do some pretty amazing things sometimes. And sometimes there are a lot of different reasons why people decide to go a certain way on the route of their life, and decide to take the route of depression or some sort of things because they're going through something. They're trying to figure out something, and they're trying to figure out some sort of situation to where they can make a better situation, and not realize or not try to realize that there are bigger situations of differentiation between what's the word? Certain timing of what is the word? Certain timing of people, I guess, you know, understanding that there are people out there that are that decidedly have very ill temperaments. They're not very funny to be around with. They're not really cool, but they think they are. And a lot of times I know that I'm not funny, and I know that I'm not a learned doctor or anything like that. But I did receive a diploma from the University of a lot of things off that I learned off Google and books, and realized that they based off certain fictional characters off of real things, like how the whole MCU is Greek and mythological, is Greek, Gothic, and Greek, Gothic, and what's the word? Norse mythology. I mean, obviously Thor and Loki and all that other different stuff. They just don't know how stupid they are. So because they're stupid. I don't hate them or anything like that. I really grew up watching them. I just realized how indifferentiated I was about their own stories sometimes, because they never related to mine in any way. Even though I think if my ideas kind of got out, I guess, I'd probably have a little bit more of a voice about stuff. Not exactly being able to get paid about stuff, but I'd probably be able to have, or be able to tell a story, I don't know. Or maybe be a consultant. Who knows, you know? Maybe. So, understandably so, there are a lot of times where I believed in, a lot of things that people didn't realize, though, is, through certain understanding and will, people and things can change. They don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to change or how things are going to change at all, but they understand that something is changing, and when it changes, it does change every perspective about themselves sometimes. And when it changes their perspective, what it changes about their perspective is that there are a lot of different people that understand that oh, I just ran over people. In the game. There are a lot of times when people think that there are sometimes a real factual reason why someone decides to give up all hope. That they're just one person and they're trying to build something that they think is the most amazing thing they've ever accomplished, or an amazing thing they ever will accomplish, or trying to think that a person who tried to raise them or tried to tell them that they were somebody was someone who did some terrible fucking things. That happens all the time in society, and it happens a lot in different other places. And they have to understand that there are a lot of people that don't realize that like in the real history of the real story of Hercules, what we call it, not only is Zeus is Hercules the son of Zeus who stays away constantly, but also his father, who is supposed to be his father, wasn't as honorable in the stories as they tell. He was very cruel sometimes, and he would actually push Hercules to be able to be someone that he didn't want to be. Basically, he wanted to be kind of soft and gentle and be able to be strong when he needed to be. But also too, there was a lot of people who didn't realize that that a lot of times that stuff is supposed to be empowering to kids, but also it sets the wrong example sometimes. And a lot of times people don't realize that the reason why I made that story up and completely decimated the MCU because of a lot of different things that I believe is because a lot of people need to understand the reality of things and the real reason why stuff happens sometimes. And I understand that there are a lot of times where people don't get certain things and people don't realize certain things that sometimes they don't realize that there are certain situations where sometimes people can take a situation and make it worse by trying to yell at someone or trying to tell someone where they stand on the situation, because they've already heard those opinions before from a lot of other different people, I think. And that's the reason why I think that people realize certain things. But also I know that there are a lot of people out there that fake shit, and they fake everything. They fake stuff all the time, and they fake a lot of different things, and they in their lives and a whole bunch of different shit. They fake a whole bunch of different stuff, and the reason why I think sometimes that people don't understand that people don't understand that there are certain situations that people stay away from because they don't want to get involved, because they feel as though they just make situations worse. Because sometimes when people realize that that a certain person's existence is completely and utterly false, like their whole lies that they tell people and a whole bunch of different stuff like that just comes crashing down on them, they start to lose hope, seriously, and they can become suicidal a lot. And that's probably what happened to Deadpool when Puppy Cat was around. Why? What's up? Are you trying to stop my story of Puppy Cat and Deadpool? Because I'm not finished, guys. I'm just running around this thing,
Doing a lot of stuff. What? Yeah, I'm on here. What's going on? I'm not doing missions right now. I'm driving around y'all trying to find y'all so I can shoot y'all. Nah, I'm just gonna shoot people. It's okay, guys. Can't do it. Can't do it. I'm just gonna shoot people. That's all I do. That and hide from other people, and whenever there's somebody that actually wants to play like a game that's made up or something like that, you know, like chase or something like that, or I wanna inspire Rockstar sometimes, because there's so many other different things. You can play tag, freaking awesome stuff, and play jump the hill and try to see if you can land it. You know. No, actually, I've actually smoked weed before, but it did not affect me in any way. Why? And it's usually just the way I talk, because I don't like to talk really fast. Because I talk with the front of my mouth, because I'm French, and I'm multiracial and stuff. Lots of stuff. I'm Dutch, I'm Irish, Native Americana. Son of a bitch. God damn it. All right. You gonna need your car? But yeah, Puppet and Deadpool resolved their differences. They went their separate ways. And now Deadpool is going to realize his dreams of time travel with Cable. It sounds like a match made in heaven, doesn't it?
Hell yeah, bro.
And alright, where is he? Because I want to find him. Is he following me? He's probably following me.
That's fucking expensive.
It sounds like he's sitting down enjoying Cable and just enjoying time travel, I guess, if people are going to keep on thinking about that stuff. Michael J. Fox is stupid. No, he wasn't. He's a good guy, I think. So yeah, that's my story. If anybody understands it, if anybody understands the jokes and stuff like that, if anybody understands the irony of Deadpool, I don't care what you're wearing, stupid. It's okay, I just knocked her out. Alright. A lot of times I believed in self gratification and getting what I wanted. I thought that was the thing that I wanted to do. Be able, if I got everything I wanted, then my life would be completely different than it is now. Understandably so. There are a lot of people that think that there's gonna be some sort of zombie apocalypse. And they think that it's only because of all the news stories that have been happening or something like that. Notice that in itself was literally that. It was leaked propaganda stuff sometimes. And I think that's probably what a lot of people were working on, I guess. To be able to make sure that countries did not have a voice sometimes. So, was that. I'm gonna shoot this guy now. Where's he at? Alright. Vegas. Your car is just so amazing, isn't it? With all of its flat tires. No, you're great too. Good job, me. Just dodge that shit. So yeah. Swirlies, swirlies. Son of a bitch. Got us both hurt. Awesome. Alright, so, understanding realization of fact that if your depression worsens, if you're going through something fucked up or messed up, realize that there are people out there that can help, but you have to call them sometimes. You know, you have to be able to get there. You have to be able to understand that there are people out there that can help. I help myself sometimes because I realize that I can fix my own problems if I care, because I have a certain situation inside of my own head that constantly I have to take complete and utter care of sometimes, because, you know, just stuff and things and images and, oh my god, space and all that stuff. So people have to understand that there are a lot of times where people don't get things. They don't get certain situations sometimes. They don't get a lot of different things, and they don't understand that there are people out there that really do want to help, and realizing that if you cure someone's depression, you have a friend forever. If you help someone's distancing themselves from a relationship, or helping them realize that if you don't ask for any money, I guess, if you're just a friend, it helps to have a great support team, and realize that not only do people have to realize that sometimes people have had a very, very hard life, and that realization of fact, people have to understand is the true meaning of understanding oneself, and the realization that if your friend is decidedly having a problem or something like that, or an emotional problem, or they're doing something that's stupid or dumb, or trying to realize some sort of goal that they don't realize is just really unattainable, then realize that their goal is unattainable and move on. Don't try to understand certain things that they're not outside your grasp. I would never say that, but realize that it's like this. You're you, okay? I'm me. I believe in everything you do, but I believe in me. Every situation that arises that you know, there are times where you would find that there are always places to go. Places to distract yourself from whatever you see, from whatever you're feeling, from whatever you're seeing at all or experiencing. And realize that those situations happen because sometimes people don't understand that there are a lot of times where certain situations can make a difference if all you do is if you're just there for someone. You can be as snide or as commenty or as dumb as you want to be sometimes, but realize that there's a point where all that doesn't stop, but all that becomes more friendly. And realization of fact is that you were just trying to get to know a person. You weren't trying to find out what people's buttons were. You were just trying to see what people knew because you wanted to know what they knew, because you thought that if you knew what they knew, then they'd like you better. That's what you originally set out to do whenever you were looking for a friend, whenever you were looking for a confidant, whenever you were looking for someone that tries to help you, I guess. So realize that fact, and also understand that the people seem to understand certain different differentiations of fact, and those certain differentiations of fact are based on are based on situations that people lack the confidence to be able to see themselves as. And certain situations that bend the will or manipulate the mental processes of yourself. You have to understand that there are a lot of different times where people need to realize that if you understand that mental health comes first, then you'll start to realize the truth about people around you, and it'll start to scare you. It'll start to scare you, but if you're comfortable with those people, then there's no changing it sometimes. And there's no changing people's situations or their habits, because, I mean, what's the point? If you get into it, then sometimes you'll be affected by it. Emotionally, stabilitively. Sometimes they can just breathe on you, and the situation can get worse because of certain allergies that they have just been drinking sometimes, or certain situations because of their sickness or their health depleting. It's like sometimes you can feel it, you know? Sometimes you can sense it and understand that there are a lot of different reasons why people don't make it, and because they're just trying to find a reason to go somewhere else. And if they're trying to find a reason to go somewhere else, then there's nothing that's going to stop them. No matter if anyone says it's illegal or anything like that. But realize the fact that what people understand is that the more they get through certain situations, or the more a life or an ionic bond or some sort of energy decides to become a part of mass, then realization of fact is that what's the word? We're giving back a situation to where people decided to become the worst versions of themselves, and talk shit about each other constantly. Because I do it all the time, and I know other people do it. I just talk shit about people that are like, it's like something pops up and I don't want to think about it, so I just start making fun of that person because it's dumb. It's just something dumb to do. I do it to myself, and I don't freaking do it to anybody else. And people have to understand that there are specific situations that call for a lot of different things, and people don't really understand sometimes that their situations are a certain way because of their own actions. And a lot of times people really think that there are specific situations that people don't understand, or that people really don't realize, I guess. And we're not going to use that. Yeah, we're going to use the shotgun because it's fun to use, and it's a lot easier to use sometimes, and it makes a cool sound. Alright, we're going to go into this. The more times I realized people were actually there for me, the more times I also realized that they were there for themselves first. And that's what was the most therapy for me, I think, is realizing that people had to be there for themselves. And this, I know, is the reason why I'm here for myself. And the more I say it, the more I feel confident about.
Finish them all! Loser! Say something!
Alright, we're gonna... Alright. I'm getting better and better, guys. Better and better. I mean, it is auto aim, so it's not like the greatest thing ever, so... But, I do move the joystick a little bit, so it's not really that big of a deal, you know. Time to go up. Only 2 out of 10. Awesome. Did it in all one life. Damn it! Alright, it's been 55 minutes, and I'm gonna finish this, so it's gonna be fun. Alright. But yeah, realizing that there are a lot of different reasons why people deserve to hear the best part of themselves. Yes, I did mess with the blah. That is very true. All right. All right, so realizing that people are still not dying, we're gonna wait 1 second, wait for him to get up. Alright. There we go, he's dead. Yay! I was doing a gang thing, the gang clear out or something like that, or whatever it's called. It's like it's pretty fun. So I just do that every once in a while. I'm trying to get better at it. I only died once this time, so that was okay. Okay, so realizing that there are a lot of different stories about depression and different things that can actually make you feel uplifted, and say that there's a lot of different people out there that that really do care. So this is the reason why sometimes people play these games. I play these games because I feel pissed off sometimes, and I like to take out my aggression sometimes, or understandably so, I like to channel my aggression into something that's worth doing, because I like these reflexes and I want to be able to play this professionally one day. I've been playing this stuff since I was 5, so yeah, I can hear you. What's going on? I'm doing a live stream, so yeah, on YouTube, so yeah. Just anybody will listen, so it's cool. And I'm gonna listen to that mariachi band later. Alright, let's do this. Let's go after the red car. Or the car that's red. Get out of the car. Yeah! God dang it, I should have turned it the other way. Got myself covered. And I ran over by a train, I think. That's a stupid car. It's old looking, or whatever. Alright, yeah, I'm done. So, realize you are your own one-man metaphorical personal bomb squad. You can defuse situations before they happen, and I am Joe Bomb Squad. And I hope you realize that there are people out there that want to help, I guess, if you ever have any problems. So realize that and understand that there are people out there that really, really care. So be yourself and realize that there are very big situations sometimes that people just have no idea about sometimes. And those big situations sometimes very much are the distancing of people from their own consciousnesses, and doing that through emotion can sometimes hurt you very, very much, and even sometimes kill you, because there are a lot of times when people distance themselves so much with different drugs or different things that they don't realize that they're just gonna be petrified almost, and like it's add water to like make them wake back up sometimes. Alright, so have a good day and be yourself. I'm a dude, so alright. Bye.